beep. All right, bus gang, move over for Nico, because today we're going to learn about this shy art student who specializes in graphic design, and specifically how Eden Laing and I collaborated on creating this character. Nico is one of the 16 characters of Bus Game, which is a competitive board game about riding the bus to complete your journey. So in Bus Game, each character has a special ability. Nico's ability is that he is a student, so his bus fare is subsidized. So he only pays half the fare needed. For example, to ride the bus, you have to pay 1 coin per stop. But because Nico's bus fare is subsidized, he only needs to pay half that amount. So if he was riding 2 stops instead of paying 2 coins, he would just pay 1. Money can be scarce in the game and in real life, especially as a student. So the only way to get money in the game is by drawing and playing money cards. With Nico as your playing character, your money's going to stretch a little bit further, getting you that much closer to your destination when you have limited resources. Nico has a passive ability, meaning that you will pay half the fare needed throughout the entire game. So as I mentioned, Bus Game has 16 characters, which is an overwhelming amount to start with as an artist new to the project. So I chose 3 characters for Eden to start with, and I made a basic starter pack for each of them, which had a one-liner and a reference image that related to them. From these starter packs, Eden started doing really loose sketches. We're so early on, we don't need to go super detailed on characters. Already with these loose sketches, I was able to pick up the personalities of each character right away. And I was super excited to be working with Eden. I remember being specifically excited seeing Bethy's, even though she doesn't have a face, just seeing the 2 little chicks with her. Yeah, and just seeing her body language, I was already so excited about these character concepts. So after seeing these 3, I decided for us to focus on Nico because his character concept seemed the easiest to quickly develop. So Nico became our art test. We used him to figure out what we do and don't like about the character art style. My first feedback to Eden was to adjust the proportions to be a bit more chibi-like, so big head, tiny body, similar to the Animal Crossing placeholders, and as well as to keep the pose dynamic, like the character is walking to the bus stop. Knowing Nico's background as a shy artist, Eden went for the beanie and hoodie combo while exploring different species for Nico's character. Out of these 3 variations, number 2, the fox, stood out the most for me, but I really liked the cat's expression, number 3, the best. And I also really liked the smiley face tote bag as a contrast to the disinterested face of the cat. So I had asked Eden to combine those 2, and this is the result. So it was at this point that I had realized I forgot to mention something to Eden, which was that not only will the characters be on a card, but they will also be in a cutout character standee, which will be the player's token. And luckily this wasn't a problem now, but I had realized that it's so important to tell your artist what the finished product is going to be so they know what to aim for. So with the colors, we initially explored distinct color palettes for each character, and Eden did a few variations sticking to a muted bluish hue for Nico. In the end, it felt a bit limiting being so strict, especially thinking about the 12 other characters we would have to do. So I looked back to our references again. If we look at the Animal Crossing characters, they have complementary color schemes with their outfits. So Freya is a pink wolf and she's got a green sweater. Kyle is a tan and black wolf and has neutral color clothes. Vivian is mostly beige but has different shades of blue. I did some color block paintovers to communicate to Eden the direction I wanted us to go in. And that was really the push we needed because we found a color palette that worked well for Nico. We decided for Nico to be more deep orange and keep his clothes more on the blue side. So we figured out the sketch, we figured out the colors, and our next step was to figure out the final treatment, the final line art. Eden tested different line variations and slight differences in visual style. When I received these, I was so excited because I had been working with placeholders for so long. Seeing this rendering of Nico made me feel like the game was actually coming to life. And I felt like we were really close, but I struggled to pick which style of direction to go in. So Nick, my husband, had the great idea of actually printing each of these out to size and putting them on the cards, as well as putting them in the character standees to see which would stand out the best and have the best legibility. This was another great reminder to make decisions through a final product lens. So although number 4 was my favorite as a digital image, printed out it was the least legible. Number 2 was my second favorite, but number 3 was actually the most legible out of that batch. So I went to Eden with my feedback and asked her to combine numbers 2 and 4, as well as increase the color contrast. And so here you can see my favorite version of Nico compared to the final version that's a little bit more legible. It's got the outline, the colors are a little bit more contrasted, and we've got a little slight difference in the visual style of the line work. So as this game continues to develop, Nico's final version, no really, this is final.png, might change, especially as we continue to develop the remaining 15 characters. But for now, I am really so happy to call this version the final one. Hi everyone, my name is Amila Nuhojic and I am the game designer behind Bus Game. I really hope you enjoyed this video and this insight into how Eden and I collaborated and how we brought Nico to life. I'm planning to continue deep dives like this for the rest of the 15 characters that we have to create for Bus Game. If you're interested in more content like this, or you're making a board game of your own and just want to follow along on my journey, you can consider becoming a paid member of my Patreon. Paid members of Patreon, 1, get to support Bus Game development in general, 2, get exclusive deep dives like this, and 3, shape the Bus Game community, as well as shape the kind of content I make. So while I want to document my journey for myself, I also want it to be a useful resource for others, or at least an interesting lens into how this game was made. My cat just fell over.